Hello, everybody out there in the land of make-believe. I am the holier-than-hell Reverend Bark Me Laughing Wolf, submortal cheerleader to the apocalypse and diabolical minion of good. And this is my first video on this channel. This channel is sponsored by Barko Toy Company, which is my graphic arts company. So so there's that. But since it was my first video on this channel, I wanted to introduce myself. Hi, everybody. I've got another channel for jewelry making called Wolf Wizard Gifts, and another one for electric bike riding called Easy E-Riders. So maybe you've seen some of those other videos. This is a new channel. This is no videos. This is about art and making art and trying to sell your art after you make it. It's not one of those entrepreneurial make $1 million off a t-shirt type channels. It's just if you're passionate about art, I'm trying to. I started a business using my graphic art, and I'm trying to figure it all out. So I'm going to make videos as I go, help other people doing the same. So that's the purpose of the channel. The purpose of this video now is to show off my planner. So it's kind of a bullet journal. It's not really a bullet journal. How do you know? Well, because it's got a bullet journal in it. But when I started trying to use a bullet journal, I did a lot of research on it and learned all the spreads and the grids and the trackers and all that. And when I got it together, I got real frustrated. I spent a lot of time working on the bullet journal and not doing the stuff and achieving my goals, which is what the bullet journal was for in the first place, was keeping track of stuff and achieving goals. So I hacked the bullet journal system entirely, and I got this little master planner going, and I had a lot of people asking me about it, about me making a video for it. So that's what this is, and we'll go to that just here in a second, but want to introduce myself first. Hi, I'm Reverend Barko. Let me show you my master planner. Okay, so this is my master planner, and these are journals I use, and in these journals, I use some of the bullet journal system structure and some of the symbols and stuff, but I've discarded most of it. So what happened for me was I got into the bullet journal system. I have attention deficit disorder. These types of things are great for me. I started a business. I needed to keep track of a lot of things, so I started using the bullet journal system, and watched a lot of videos, and I see a lot of people end up using them like scrapbooks. They spend more time making this scrawly titles and creating all the pages and the spreads than they do achieving their goals, like I was saying earlier. I got real bogged down in the system. And what it is, it seems to be some people want to become bullet journalers. And that's the thing. That's the goal, is to get into the bullet journal and spend a lot of time in the bullet journal. And then their goal is to have a cool looking bullet journal, but not achieving their goals. Unless, of course, their goals is to just be a hobbyist bullet journaler. I needed a system that I could use to achieve my goals and that would not complicate my life, which is what the bullet journal ended up doing. I got the bullet journal. I tried to use it. Spent a lot of times making the calendar and making the spreads, and then making the key and the index and numbering the pages, and then to making that's insane. It's an insane amount of work. I couldn't deal with it. About 6 months in, I wanted to scrap it all. What would happen is I get depressed because I wasn't working on the system. I wasn't keeping up with my trackers and my graphs. I wasn't keeping up with my calendar. I felt bad. When I did open it up, it seemed like it was a mess and there was a lot of work that I had to do. So I just kind of got depressed and I felt guilty for not using it. And so I used it less and less. The two things that I felt like I needed were to have the time to do it. And the other thing was to have it be a tool for me and not a chore. So what I did was, first of all, I abandoned the whole stitched journal system, which is, they seem to use a lot of stitched journals. Most people use stitched journals. That's great for my journals. So I've got a lot of journals. This is just a partial of them. And I just wanted to use this as an example. I've got a journal here for all of my video scripts. I've got a journal for podcast. I got a journal for inventory for my jewelry store. I've got a sketchbook where I keep ideas for graphics and for graphic art and things that I'm going to put on a T-shirt or a cup or make an outfit. I'm doing textiles now, so I've got a lot of things going on, and to have one bullet journal trying to keep track of all that stuff. And then when you run out of one page, then you go to the next page, and then you put a new thing on the next page, and you go to the next page, and they keep track of it. And not everything all is in one place. It was making me nuts, and I didn't want to use this system. So that's the first thing I did, was I separated everything. Everything gets its own journal. This is just for scripts. This is just for drawings. You know, I got it all separated out, and then any information that I really need feeds into the master planner. And that's it. This is my master planner. This I have with me all the time, just about. And what I'm using this for is basically, this is a Bark Me Laughing Wolf user manual. This is my operational manual. When I get up in the morning and I have to figure out what I'm supposed to do with myself, this book will help me. Again, I have ADD. I get distracted really quick. So if I have an idea, I got this book nearby. I can get the idea in there real quick. If I've got a task I need to do. So here's the problem with I was having with the bullet journal is, let's say I had a task. Well, I had a lot of decisions I had to make, and little symbols I had to draw, and little pages I had to book out. All I want to do right now when I have an idea is to get it written down in the appropriate place. A lot of times it'll go into a journal when I'm working on something specific, but sometimes I got a pile of journals. I don't want to dig through them for the right things. So I got this is good for that. I didn't like the stitch binding, like I was telling you, because once you're done with the journal, now you got to move to another journal. So if you don't want to have to keep referencing back to old journals, then you've got to migrate that information, the important information, into a new journal. I did not dig that. I don't want to be repeating tasks all the time. I don't want to be touching stuff and then moving and touching and moving. It's not my thing. So what I did was I got a ringed binder. So now I've got all of my information in one place. I can update it. I can put more information in. When information becomes obsolete, I can pull it out. And if I mess something up, I can just throw it away and put in a new one. That's the other thing, is if you mess something up in these stitch ones, you can tear the page out, but I don't dig that. I've got the attention deficit disorder and obsessive compulsive disorder. So if there's something, if I'm making a spread or putting a calendar out and I screw it up, that's just going to drive me nuts. I throw it away. I'll start over. But you can't do that with this. And if you do, you get little tear marks in the bottom, or if you tear out one page, then the other page on the other side isn't secure because it's a fold stitch. In any case, it doesn't work for this. So here, with the binder, I can tear it out, put in a new one, whatever, works great. So I abandoned the parts of the bullet journal system I've abandoned so far is the actual journal. And then I also abandoned the keys. So with the bullet journal system, is you've got a lot of boxes and squares and dots and jiggers and stuff like that. And they tell you what each little thing means. So you can have all kinds of stuff written, just one line after another, and none of it has to be connected to the thing above it. And then you just put one of these symbols next to it to tell you what that is as you're going through it. That was making me nuts. First of all, if I have to have a key so that I know what symbols I'm using, then I'm not going to use those symbols inside because I don't know what they are. If I have to reference it and I don't know what it is, I'm not going to use it. And then if I have used it, I'm not going to go back and need a key to go, oh, what was that thing that I used? But a lot of this stuff ended up being redundant for me. I won't get into it or this video will get way too long. Trust me. So I use the bullets, and that's just to separate one thing from another. And I use task complete because I do use the little squares. I put a square next to a task or a thing I need to do or a thing I need to get or a thing I need to go to. And then I exit out when I'm done. Then if I really did it, then I scribble it out too. Most of the time I exit and scribble it out. So like this is an O for an event. Well, you know what? That event is going to be in my calendar. It's not going to just be in the middle of some page somewhere in a stitched notebook that I've got to leaf through to find it. It's going to be in my calendar because my calendar is with me all the time. So I got a thing to put my calendar, open up my calendar, put it in there. I don't need to put a special little circle next to it because I know it's an event. It's in my calendar. And then the words next to it will make it obvious. So I don't use any of this stuff, none of it. Don't use it, don't use a key, and I don't use half of the symbols. Now, if you know the bullet journal system, which I had to learn the entire system to be able to cut it up and hack it to make it useful for me. But yeah, I had to learn the system. There's a lot of symbols in it. If that works for you, that works for you. It didn't work for me. I got rid of that. That's the first thing. Also, indexes. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to, do I have one of these? I have one with an index in it still. One of these had an index in it. So what you're supposed to do is number all the corners. Here's one with the corners numbers. Yeah, this had an index in it. So what you're supposed to do is number all the corners of every page, and then as you fill it in line by line, so this would be a camping list, and then down here on the second half of the page, I might want to use this for something else. This isn't even right. This isn't even bullet journaling. This is kind of bullet journaling, except I'm only using boxes in this case, but whatever. With the index, what I do then is I number all the pages, and then as I fill out the bullet journal, when I get my bullet journal, say I had a bullet journal page about how I was going to set up my bullet journal. That's how meta this thing can get. So to use the index, you have to number all the pages. Then as you fill in the bullet journal, you go back to the index and you fill in the page and the topic that's on that page. And if you have multiple topics, you use more pages. And then, okay, so I have a camping list here. Let's say I filled up the page with camping list stuff, but I didn't do it that day. Did a little on one day, did a little on another day. But the following days, I had to do my household logistics or something else. And filled up the page, but I need more camping stuff. So I'm going to move to the last page, right? And start the camping stuff over. Boom. Page, whatever. This, I don't have all the page number. But there's a page, whatever, camping stuff here. And then I had to go to my index, and I have camping stuff, page, whatever. And then down here, camping stuff, continued, page 8. So I'm constantly going. So let's say I want to find something. I have to open the book and look in the index and then go down and find the thing and then find out what page it's on and then flip to that particular page. Boom, I found the thing. What I found easier is just to put the headings on the top and then I just flip through it and use my eyes and go, oh, there's the thing I'm looking for. There's the thing I'm looking for. That way I don't have to number it. I don't have to do the index or any of that stuff. So, oh, no index. No index, no keys. I don't use any of the symbols. Boom. I don't use the actual journal. So is this a bullet journal system at all? Not at all. It really is not a bullet journal system. But I use the bullet journal system to make it. So I don't know if that makes sense. The bullet journal system was created by a designer named Ryder Carroll. Got a link down there in the description. He's got a great website. You can check out the bullet journal thing there. And then there's lots of videos. So you can learn about the bullet journal system yourself. There are probably lots of parts of it that would be helpful to you that I'm not telling you about. Because I didn't read that stuff. So this is my master planner. I use this to run everything from my watering my plants, feeding my cats. Well, no, I don't need help feeding my cats because my cats make it obvious it's time to feed. So it's obvious time to feed. I've got a cat actually walking around my feet right now, wondering why I'm talking to myself. You got something to say? So I use this from everything for my businesses, for my shopping, any drawings that I want to do, any stories that I want to write, if household chores, everything I do ever is in this book. And if I come up with something new, boom, it goes in the book. So if it's not in the book yet, it's going to be in the book eventually, or it just doesn't exist in my life. Instead of the binder, the stitch binder, I got a 6-ring This is basically a 6-ring day planner. This is almost a A5 size. So A5 is a little bit bigger. A5 actually paper would not fit in this case, but it's about that size. This is called Right in the Rain, and they got proprietary sizes and everything. The holes are the same, so I can get a lot of the all of these are just standard universal, universal pocket, universal, because they fit the actual rings are the same size you'd see in an A6 or A5 type binder, and those are our paper sizes. Basically, you can look up the specifics on those separately. A4 is much larger. It's your standard 11 by 8.5 larger notebook. So although the binding is right for universal, the cover isn't, and A5 would not fit in here, and A6 is too small, so I don't use A6. A6 would probably fit in here, but anything that I've done in here, you can do with an A5 notebook with the same sort of configuration. I'm using this because it's this Right in the Rain stuff is waterproof. I love this case. I love all the pockets, and I haven't found anything that's equal to it in the A5 notebook size. And A5, again, it's a little bit bigger. This is a little more compact. It's easier for me to carry around. It fits very comfortably into the different pockets of my different bags of holding. I'm going to do a review on the case and the kit itself in another video, comprehensive. But one thing is that it is all waterproof paper, and so I have to use Sharpies. So I love Sharpies, and it's not a problem for me. In this case, you see, I have a red cap on my black Sharpie. One of the things that was driving me nuts is I kept losing my pen when I was using the bullet journal system. I need a pen. I want a dedicated pen to my system, and so I got a pen. But I've got let me just reach my hand out any direction, and boom, there's a bunch of Sharpies. I got Sharpies all over in my life. Oh look, drawer full of Sharpies. So I needed a dedicated Sharpie, and I always wanted my freshest, best working Sharpie for my bullet journal, just because I like to have a nice crisp line for my. It's not a bullet journal; it's a master planner, whatever you call it. I've been calling it my bullet journal, but it is not a bullet journal. What I did was I took a red cap off of a red pen, put that on there. Yes, I've got a red pen out there with a black cap on it, and put it on my newest pen. Now, once this one gets worn down, I'm going to take it. We'll get out a new pen. Put the red cap on the new pen, bang, tang, ping, tang, tang, ting. Take the black cap, put it on the old pen, and throw it in one of the various places until it runs out of ink entirely or the nib's mushed down. I can't use it no more. So I always have the freshest pen in here. And then if it's laying about and I see it, I go, oh, that's supposed to be in my journal. It's supposed to be in my journal. What's that doing out just with the strays? So if I see it out, I always recognize it because it's the one with the red pen. And then the other thing is when I open it up or I'm putting it away, I see either that there's the red's there or it's not there, and I know I don't have my pen in there, and I better find it before I zip it up. I've doing this, I almost always have a pen, and before when I just had the black cap, about 70% of the time I'd remember to get my pen back in there. Or I'd put a pen in there and it turned out to be a stinky pen. It don't work so much because it's not my best pen. So a lot of talk about the pen, but it's important. Probably one of the most important. It's the most important thing. It's the most important part of the whole system is this pen. So I don't feel bad spending a little time on it. So then we've got a pencil, just a mechanical pencil. No big whoop. I do sketches. I like to sketch in my little in the journal part of this, and so got a pencil, and I have a little eraser. A little eraser there. For the pencil. So I also, I used to, for a long time, I was carrying a highlighter in this fourth pocket. Never used the highlighter, so I've replaced it with a bigger Sharpie. Love me some Sharpies. I may not use this just as much as I didn't use the highlighter. Who knows? We'll see. That's a recent replacement. Just so I don't have to come back to it, I want to show you that I got this pocket here in the front. It is simply there to slip the binder cover into, but I use it as a little pocket. I actually, my mom saw this system. She has the attention deficit disorder as well. Thought it might help her. She got the whole system set up, and then she started tucking her stuff in here. And I'm like, what you got in there, Ma? She's like, oh, whenever I'm done with something inside, I want to get it out of the way or replace it. Oftentimes I'll just tuck it in here until I have a chance to go through it and see if it needs to get cataloged, filed away, or thrown in the trash. So thought that was a great idea. So that's what I use it for. If I pull some, okay, I staged this. Tell you the truth, a lot of this stuff I already went through it recently, so there isn't not a lot of minutia in there. But this is what it would look like. I pull it out on the day that I sit down with my bullet journal, go through it, and clear this weird stuff out of there. This actually I need to save because I use that. It's a little crib sheet for my job interviews. So this doesn't matter. It's a little pocket, just to keep stuff in. No big whoop. So first page, of course, what I got was this Right in the Rain insert for a full year. So I've got a full year of these inserts. Boom. And I've only got an inch. This can hold an inch, this binders, and I'm pushing it now. So I can't put more than about a month. I could get about a month, a little over a month in here, and then it starts to not open up too well. So keep a month ahead, and this front cover came with the kit. So this basically just a little emergency contacts, whatever. It's the 4 or 5 phone numbers that I need in case I lose my phone or something. These are the people I need to get a hold of. Worst case scenario, they have all of the other phone numbers that I'd need. Tasks. Here's the meat of it. I've got this because I have goals. And to reach those goals, I have tasks. Each thing that I want to do has a series of related tasks. And each of those tasks to complete also usually has a series of related tasks. So keeping track of my tasks was number one. And what was happening was I'd come up with a task, and I'd get my calendar out and be like, oh, when should I do this task? And then I'd spend some time trying to figure out when to do the task and how long it would take. Boom. I don't need that. I'd forget what I was doing before I even got the stuff written down. So what I do now is I need to do a task. I write it here under tasks. I need to buy a thing. I write it under there. I need to clean a thing. I write it onto here. This is mostly personal stuff, business stuff. Anything that I need to do is going to go into my task list. And as you can see, it's just boxes, and I X it out, and I cross it out too. Because the X, when I'm going down, just having something X'd out, if I can still see it, I'll still get stuck reading it. So I just cross it all. I just scribble it all out. And as I get stuff done, pretty soon I'll have more stuff done here. If I got 1 or 2 things on here, I'll migrate it. I don't need to put a little migration thing on there. I'll just do it when I'm migrating stuff. I'll go, oh, look, that's not done, and this page is almost full. I'm going to move it over to a less full page with less stuff on it. So I've got, what I got? Got 2 pages of tasks going here. I do have other task lists. Some stuff does go on immediate attention task list. This is if I'm trying to figure out what I need to do in addition to just the regular, hey, need to get this stuff done right away stuff, goes on a task list. If I'm cleaning the kitchen and I'm like, oh, you know what? I should build a shelf in here for my knickknacks, whatever. That would be something to put on the task list. So I've got to organize my DVDs. I've got over 500 DVDs I need to organize. I've got to buy a chair, buy a desk. I don't think I need a desk anymore. I think I've got that, actually got that figured out. Is that what that says? Desk? Yeah, desk. Now, I was going to try to get a different desk. I need to get a better pen here. I was going to try to get a desk. Don't need that. Do need a chair. This chair sucks. So, let's see what else. Surface Book 3. That's on there. That's going to have its own separate list eventually for a bunch of stuff. But right now, yeah, Surface Book 3. I know I need one. I just threw it down here. I need to do research, which I've done. I've done a lot of research. I'll have another page or a spread going in a budget. Now, what I don't have in here is a budget section, which I will get in here eventually. There's a lot of stuff that, when I started doing the bullet journal, I was overwhelmed with stuff. I had to think for budget, think for this, think for that. Got overwhelmed, pulled a lot of stuff out. So there's stuff that I put back in that I'm realizing I didn't need, and there's stuff that I didn't put back in that I'm realizing I do need. So I am going to add a better budgeting system in here. So probably some of these things that I need to buy will go into my budget section eventually. Right now it just goes onto the task list, which works good enough. And that's the whole point of the task list, is that I don't have to worry about all that stuff. I'll just get it in the task list, open it up, go to the task list, get the tasks down, and move on with my life. Now, I've got another time in my life where I start migrating these tasks into the different areas that they need to go. But when I'm thinking of the task, no, I just need to get it written down. So I'm going to, let me just jump. Yeah, okay, we'll do this real quick here. I run a business. It's called Wolf Wizard Gifts. Under that business name, I sell jewelry. When I registered that name, I also registered the name Barko Toy Company. Under that name, I sell my graphic art and stuff with my art on it, like t-shirts and hoodies, coffee cups, all kinds of stuff. So this is just business information from my business license, stuff like that. Sometimes I need to reference it on the fly. Got it one place. Boom. I need to know what my business license entity numbers, my NAICS number is. Boom. I've got it right here. I can find it. And I do need that every once in a while. And that's the kind of stuff that I just can't keep track of. So what do we got next here is, oh, right. I'm just keeping it. Now, you can see how long I've been running this business. This is my overhead. Very little overhead. I'm running a domain. On that domain, I have a Shopify platform, running a Shopify platform, which is a monthly fee, an annual fee for the domain, monthly fee for the Shopify store. And people kept stealing my mail, so I had to get a mailbox, a paid mailbox down the street here, and that is $60 every 3 months. So I'm keeping track of my overhead. Now, here's the first Post-it note. I use these Post-it notes. This is the essential. This is what is helping me out with the system the most. The pen. First most essential, these Post-it notes. Second most essential thing that I did to this system that's making it work for me instead of against me. So say I'm figuring out, what is this actually for? Accounting notes. BBC, 2 cows. Right. So I was doing some accounting stuff. I had some information that I needed. I wrote it down real quick on a Post-it note. I posted it in here because I knew I'd need to transfer it into this section. Eventually. And I don't think, and I believe that I already have, so now that it's kind of obsolete, but I can't go through it now because I'm dealing with this video here, so I'm going to stick it in here, bing, bang, boom, and I'll get to that later on when I go through it. And I go through it several times. I go through it, A, whenever I get a chance, or B, on a specific date that I have in my planner. I go through it once a week. I have it scheduled to work with my bullet journal at least once a week. So what do we got else here in business? I have business goals. Need to make $4,000 a month with my business for it to maintain itself, for me to pay my wages, be able to pay my rent here, and maintain my storefront and all that stuff. That's $4,000. That's to break even, which I'm making $0,000 a month now. So I've got ways to go with that. Now, right now, I am working on a goal. I have it in here. Did I pull it? I am working on goals, personal goals, business goals. I'm working on a goal section so that I've got a better idea of what I'm trying to do and making timelines and the things that I need to do to achieve those goals. And this information would then be transferred over onto there. But this is specific business goals. And then I also supposed to have 1,000 followers. So when I'm going through my day-to-day life, I keep in mind my goals. I don't really necessarily need to have them written down. But sometimes I do reassess myself quite a bit. When I do reassess my goals and my priorities, it's nice to have the stuff written down somewhere. Yep. Need to make a portable shop. I want to start doing craft fairs and stuff. This is all the stuff I need for my portable shop. So once I start doing, when I get closer to having some money to get this stuff, that's when it'll start going onto a task list. So at some point I'll go, you know what, I have enough money to start putting this together. Then it'll go on a task list, say, start assembling your portable storefront, whatever. So, okay, so underneath the umbrella of Wolf Wizard Gifts is the Barko Toy Company. And with the Barko Toy Company, all I'm doing is artistic stuff. So all the business side of that is going to be dealt with under the Wolf Wizard Gifts section. And the Barko Toy Company stuff is just ideas for stuff for my Shopify store, which is specifically called the Barko Toy Company. And so I got a little list going here of stuff that I need to do for my Shopify store. And you can see this is basically another task list, which I will reference when I'm putting together my day-to-day. Let me sneak forward here to now. I got a day-to-day list. When I put this together, I'll be drawing from the task list. I'll be drawing from this task list for my Shopify, depending on what day I'm filling out, because there's certain days I do certain things. I will show you that. Hold on. Project notes. What is this? Oh, product notes. This is specific. I just started this yesterday. This is specifically products I have and the costs they are, and just different little notes about products that I need to fill out. Eventually, I'm going to have a better track of this. It's all going to go into a journal or onto a spreadsheet or something. But right now, it'll fill up more when I got more stuff to put in there. But I kind of just put it in for this video, so I'd have it. But so what do I got here? What's this say? This says, oh, this is ideas. Okay, so we're going to step here. What I've got here is, I think I'm clever. So I write down all the clever things that I think I thought of, and I keep them on a list here. And this is an empty page just because I'm just about running out. So I know I'm going to be using another page. I go backwards to forwards. So here's ideas I already had, and this is for ideas I haven't had yet. Right, char. So after the ideas, what is this? Okay, so after the ideas, now I'm gonna turn those ideas either into cartoons, or I'm going to use those ideas for graphics. These words will turn into art at some point. So what I do is, when I have the time, I go through these ideas and figure out, okay, which ones of these are viable ideas that I can use for upcoming graphics for a couple of projects. So which ones spark my joy for projects, and when I find ones and I get a real specific idea what I can do with them, then I write down that idea for a solid graphic project, and then I list them here. Now these are things I am going to do. These are just ideas. This is a brain dump, but this is another task list specifically for graphics. And there are days where I work on my Shopify store, and I don't work on graphics. And then there are days when I work on graphics and not my Shopify store. That's why there are separate lists for those things. And that's the one thing that won't go on my master list, are like specific graphic things, specific things. Very, very, the minutia does not go into tasks, big ideas. Get this, get that, do this. Little minutiae I break down into the sections. Okay, so that's it there. Now I've got a page here where what I'll do is probably is what I'll put a sticky note on here. And if I need to make a quick note about something pertaining to my graphics or something like that, I'll put it here. Just real quick. Okay, boom. Get this out. Get a little note written down, and then I'll transfer that information to wherever it needs to go. Like, for instance, what I might put here is while I'm watching videos about making comic books, there might be some specific little, maybe a specific DPI that somebody uses for when they're making digital copies of comic books, stuff like that. I'll write that down. Real quick note here. Oh, DPI 600 for making images for to 8.5 by 11, whatever. Make a little note here, and then I'll move that information to where it needs to go. Or sometimes I'll just remember it for having written it down. That's what I am good at, is once I've written something down, once I have a piece of data in my brain, that data usually stays in my brain pretty good. So, so this used to be what I had. It was called the database. And it had not only a list of foods I'll eat, and it had a list of movies I'd like to see, and books I'd like to read, and I had some plans on a bunch of stuff in there. But then I realized I've got an Amazon wish list. I don't need that in here. If I want a book, put it on my wish list. Somebody tells me something about a book or a movie or something, I'll jot it down. I'll jot it down on just a scrap of paper and move it into whatever. I don't need a dedicated list of books that I might want to read someday on my person all the time. So those are the types of things that I eliminated, stuff like that. I used to have a whole list of movies that I wanted to get on me all the time, and I'd add to that list. But again, I got a Amazon wish list, and I can just put it on a sticky note now and move it to the wish list. Doesn't take up time in my life, in my instruction manual here. It doesn't use up space, and because I only have about an inch to do with, there is a limited amount of real estate. But what I did need was I need to eat every day, and it's not something I'm good at. I forget to eat. I forget to eat up until it's time that I got to eat, or I'm gonna pass out. So it's food and meals are one of the big things that I need to plan out way ahead of time and keep on top of. So I try to make a meal plan every month. Back here, I've got a shopping list going. So each Friday, I think it's Friday, I've got I plan to do meals. So on Friday, I get out my master planner, and I go to my menu, and it's actually, these are just recipes. This is stuff I'm willing to eat and how to cook it. So I was a professional cook for a while, so I don't need a lot of the information. I don't need the exact quantities because I do it all kind of by eye anyway. I like to make a layered bean dip. I like to make an egg loaf. I like to make baked chicken, but I can't always remember the time and the time it takes to cook and the temperature you have to cook it at. So I write that down, and then I write down the basic ingredients. Spiral ham, I like to cook brown sugar on it, butter. Okay, so when I'm making my meal list, I'm going down here, I'm saying, okay, this week I'm going to make a tater tot casserole. I'm going to eat off a tater tot casserole all this week. What do I need? Ground beef, garlic. Okay, what do I have? Go to the refrigerator, see what I have, what I don't have. As I'm making my meal plan for the week, I start making my grocery list. So I'm going off of my recipes and my menu of things I'm willing to eat, finding things that I'm going to eat that week, seeing what the ingredients are, and then moving them to my shopping list, which is a task, this is goal oriented. The goal is to get food in the house so I can eat. This is the system I use to accomplish that goal. So one of the things I do have, cream corn. That's a secret. Now, I've got an electric bike. I call it the Magooch. And I do keep, I've got it's my primary mode of transportation. It's my only mode of transportation. And I have a section just for that. I keep a running total of the miles that I ride, not daily, because I do a lot of real short trips now. I used to ride 40 miles a day. Now I'm lucky if I get in a couple miles a week. So I am only doing, when I get a chance, I'll sit down, I will check the speedometer, and I will check my charge. So I'm writing down how many miles I go and how much electricity it takes to go those amount of miles. But I was doing it every ride, but now I'm doing it like every 3 or 4 rides. If I take a big ride, I'll do it for that ride. But and I've been keeping track of that for a while. I've got the rest of these. I have the rest of this data. So I've got probably 4 or 5 pages of this data, a catalog, filed away. And basically, this tells me that my battery's still running good, and how many miles. A lot of it has to do with how many miles I've put on different components when I should be checking them for wear and replacement. Which is what my maintenance list is for, is when did I do the last maintenance? When did I replace the last part? And I should put the miles actually in there. I put the dates in there, so that's good enough. I can correlate the dates with the miles. But that's what that page is, just basically maintenance and cost. And this is yet another task list. It's a to-do list, things that I need to do to fix the bike, or like I got to get a new fork. My front forks are crap. I need to get a new fork. Should get a new stem. Need to waterproof some of the components. So that's what this is. Just a to-do list. So on Sundays, I work on my Magooch. And so when I'm making up my list for what I'm going to do on Sunday, I go to my list. It's short for Hoochie Magoochie. It's the name of the bike. You happy? The Magooch. So I go into my to-do list for the bike specific and say, okay, I need to do this or that, and then I'll put it in there. It's been winter. I haven't been keeping a real good list of my to-dos on that, and I actually haven't been doing it every Sunday, but once a month I'll work on the bike a little bit. Okay, all of that leads to this. This is the operational system here. This is the active system. This is the system I use every day. It all feeds into this, and this is how I live my life. I have it labeled now. Notice it is the biggest label. I can go right to it as soon as I need to. Boom. What am I supposed to be doing right now? I can wake up in the morning. I can open this up and say, okay, today is Saturday. I'm making my bullet journal video. Look at that. Now, yesterday, what was I supposed to be doing? Let's see. I was supposed to be doing. I have to do making an application to a company I want to work at. Didn't complete that task. I'll get to it. I'm not going to migrate it. It's on the same page. I'm probably going to be using this page until maybe Sunday. About Sunday, I'll start planning stuff for Wednesday. I can always start a second page over here, right? Moving on to the next week. So, but I usually don't. I'm not usually planning that many days ahead. And once I use a half of one of these pages, it looks all scribbled up and it triggers my OCD, and I get rid of it and put in a new page anyway. So this works for me. That's great having these little Post-it notes. This is all temporary information. Now, I've got a day planner in here, but I don't need to fill this all up with all this little minutia stuff. So I just keep a running task list right here, which, again, feeds off of all of my data. All of my sections feed into here. So once a week or a couple times a week, I will sit, when I get the chance, I will sit down and fill out what I'm going to be doing. Usually on Sunday, I'll start filling one of these out. When it starts to empty up, I'll fill it out some more. So I go off of these 2 schedules that I've made for myself. So how this works is that I'm the boss, and as the boss, I get this thing out about once or twice a week, and I set it up for my employee. And I have expectations for my employee so that my business runs properly. And my business is my life. My business is my goals. My business is me. So it's a metaphor. You get what I'm saying? It's a metaphor. My business is also my business. I also have a business to run, but that's not what I mean. What I mean is that I metaphorically am the boss of my life, and I write down what expectations I have for my employees, which are me. So as the employee, I then every day open this up, see, what's the boss got me doing today? I gotta I got what goal spread? Oh yeah, I got to work on that spread for the goals I was telling you about. So right there, something I was going to do yesterday, didn't get to it. Week isn't over. I can always get back to it, so I can check that off later. Or if I get to the end of the week, I decide I'm not going to do it, I'm going to do it later, I'll scratch that out as a goals spread, and I'll move it to the task list, and I'll do it eventually. Because, if I got a task that moves down the list, what are you doing bumping my camera, cat? If I got a task that's moving down the list, chances are I'm not gonna do that task. I'm not excited about it. It's not a priority for me. And unless it's super important, oftentimes I'll get it off my plate. Just move it to the task list, get to it later. If it's important, I'll get to it. If it's not important, it will never get prioritized, and eventually it will just get scribbled out. So to make this list here, I've got a schedule, a daily schedule for work. This is actually daily, monthly, bi-weekly, and one for a personal schedule. So that's how I fill this out, is about once a week. I sit down and I go, okay, where am I at on my daily? All right, what do I need to do? Well, first, do I have any appointments? Do I have any known entities? Is it somebody's birthday? Do I have jury duty? What do I need to do for that day for sure? And then what do I need to prepare for that day? If there's something going on Tuesday, I need to prepare Monday for it. So I will first reference this when I'm sitting down to fill out my active task list. Then I'll go to my little schedule here, which the boss made for me. And he tells me that on Mondays, I'm going to organize my graphic files and do stuff with it. I got to redo this. I've come up with some better ways of doing this. I've changed some of the days. I used to take every Saturday off. Now I'm taking every Sunday off it doesn't matter why, but I'm taking every Sunday off instead. So I need to work this about, but you get the idea. On Mondays, I don't do any art. I work specifically on my website, metadata, research. I try not to do any art, because if I do art too many days in a row, I can get real focused in on one project and kind of start to lose my mind. So I have to make sure I've got breaks set up where I'm not doing it every day. Because left up to me, I would just do one thing. I'd find one thing on the list and I'd just do that until I exhausted myself. So this helps me pump the brakes on things and do things in a real consecutive, prioritized order so that I don't burn myself out. So for work schedule, this is monthly. And I got confused myself because it's not Monday, it's monthly. Even though M here and there's an M there. And in the bullet journal, if I've got a circle around it, that means that it's an appointment. So that's not even accurate. I just like circles around my letters. I like it aesthetically, so that's why there's circles around them. So this, I got to figure out something better to distinguish monthly and Monday from each other, because it's at the top, so I keep getting confused. Okay, every month I do I organize all my files because I make a lot of graphics files, and then I make copies of those graphic files, and I need to get in there and organize them about once a month. Daily, every day. This is monthly, and then daily I clean my workspace, or I should. I don't, but it's my goal is to clean it daily. Every day when I get done doing whatever, I clear out my workspace so my workspace is clear for the next shift, which is again me coming in the next day. And coming in, I live here, so this is all a farce, but it's a farce that works for me. So. And then, so here we are on Sunday, I do some stuff. On Monday, I do some stuff. Tuesday, I do art. So that's when I start feeding off of the different task lists onto my to-do list for those particular days. Also have one for my personal schedule. I forget to shower. I forget to exercise. I forget to clean my kitchen. So I've got it set up monthly, daily, bi-weekly, different things that I need to do. On Friday, I do my meal plan. On Saturday, I do my shopping. And that all works into how I fill out my daily schedule. And then I've got my, lastly but not leastly, I've got my my monthly schedule, and that keeps me up to date for about a month. Again, I got the insert for the rest of them there, and I just stay up to date for about a month. But then I've got this little thing in so I can fill in months ahead of time, little things coming up like jury duty or whatever, birthdays, whatnot. Got that from 2020. Let's see, 2020, 2021, and then I am not hopeful. I'm not enthusiastic about anything past November, so I'm waiting. I'm waiting to fill out. After November, everything may become irrelevant. You know what I mean? So, not optimistic, so I'm only filled out till 2021, but I don't have any plans yet anyway, so if I end up getting plans, I'll keep filling it out. So then we got the months. I have to fill this out. Then we have a full month view. This is like an at a glance full month view. I fill in as I go little things that I need to know ahead of time. So I know birthdays, I know holidays. I'll try to get those in here. I've been kind of lax with it. I'd like to have these all pre-filled out with the holidays and known birthdays, events that I know way ahead of time. I haven't done that. Something I would like to get. I would like to do. So fill that out, and then I go just every couple of weeks. Just every couple of weeks. Got one of these. Again, this is universal for A5, A6 notebooks. Works in here. And so then I just need to find what today is. I grab that one. I need now. I grab this. And then anything else, any of these other sections, this is information I'm never in a hurry for. I can just kind of flip through. But sometimes I want to get to that now right away, get something written down right away. And I'll use this for notes too. That's what I love about having these little, using these as my primary system of information is that I don't have to worry about what I'm putting on that page. I can scribble stuff on it. I can test out a pen test. This pen kind of sucks. Scribble that out. I'm not going to go all OCD on that because I know I'm going to tear this page out, tuck it into here, and then later on either file it away, move this information somewhere else, or toss it in the trash. Lastly, I got my shopping list, which I showed you guys. Now I can keep multiple shopping lists in this area. I've got to get some stuff for the job. When I get a job, I'm going to need some new pants. All my pants are pretty dirty and wrecked. I haven't had new pants in a while. Don't have any money right now to spend on pants that I don't need for a job I don't have. But I know that some of my stuff is starting to wear out pretty good. So I know that I'm going to need to get some of this stuff in the future. So I'm just kind of keeping track of monies. Future purpose purchases here, known future purpose purchase. And this is my grocery list. So I just keep my grocery list there. All good and done. Keep my post-it notes back in here. And then this is just a brain dump. Again, it's kind of a bullet journal, except I don't use a key. I don't use an index. I just put headers at the top. If it's not just, sometimes it's just a drawing. Oh, where's that platypus drawing I got? Oh, flip through. Oh, there it is. There's the platypus. There's the sloth. Where's the thing I was doing about my Patreon page? Want to start a Patreon page. I haven't started it yet, but I got a page dedicated to it. Now, once I've got this filled out, I'm going to move this in. I'm going to have a Patreon section in here. And I'll move all the information into there so that when this journal, got about 15 pages left, when this journal goes, I put a new one in. I don't have to migrate all the information from this journal to the other one. Anything that's important is going to find a home in here, or it's going to go. And that is it. Holy crap. I didn't think I'd ever be able to finish this video. This isn't my first take. Let me tell you guys this right now. So, made this video a couple of weeks ago. While I was making it, I realized that my master planner was completely out of date. I had a lot of stuff in it I didn't use, so I've had to redo it in the past couple of weeks. And then I wrote a script for this video. And I tried to do that, and this just isn't something I can do scripted. Read it while I'm doing this. So I've done probably about 30 takes of this video today, and this is a good one. This is, whether or not it is a good one, is the one you're getting. Okay, so live with it. So hope that was helpful. Sorry it was so long. What I find on YouTube is that even idiotic, overly long, badly made videos have little kernels of knowledge that help me. And I hope that I've done that for you today. Until next time, stay tuned for my next video. Reverend Barkme is out of here.